Hey everybody, it's Randy Pierson, Vice President of Life and Annuities for Gordon Marketing, and welcome to another edition of Selling Life and Annuities, where today I've got with me Tim Luby, our RVP for Annuities, and we're going to be talking about Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, and what's so good or not so good about both. Stay tuned. All right, Tim. So, Roth, traditional IRA. I'm always amazed by, consumers, the everyday man on the street that I speak to that really doesn't understand, what a Roth IRA is, a traditional IRA, the advantages or disadvantages of each. So can you help the folks that are watching this video that aren't quite so sure understand the difference?
Yeah, so certainly, yeah. So a traditional IRA essentially just means money that's been saved for retirement that hasn't been taxed yet, primarily. Okay. People put money in an IRA and none of that money's been taxed. And the biggest advantage to Roth is that the Roth money gets taxed on the way in, but then it's tax-free when it comes out. That's the real crux in terms of what's so great about the Roth. Okay. It's the taxes.
All right, very good. I assume that a consumer needs to make a determination. They've got money that they want to put away for retirement. They got to make a determination at the beginning of the process whether it's going to go traditional or Roth, right?
Right, and it's much more convenient and common to put money into an IRA or to save money through a 401k that then's very easily converted to an IRA or a 403b or many of the the employer-sponsored retirement plans that are out there are very easily converted to IRAs. Okay. They're not easily converted to Roth IRAs because you have to pay tax on it.
Sure.
And if you're under 59.5, you may have to pay a 10% penalty tax too. So the opportunity to convert from other qualified funds into the Roth is outstanding, but it comes with some challenges.
Right.
You've got to be able to handle the taxes.
Okay, so it seems to me over time, I've heard about certain periods where consumers could get a sort of a special dispensation for converting from a traditional IRA to a Roth. Do those exist today?
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the biggest ways to get into the Roth is by conversion, because the annual contribution limits are very similar to what they have for an IRA, $6,000 to $7,000 for an individual, depending on their age, which isn't going to get you too far if you've got a big retirement plan, going at those rates. So conversion is a big opportunity. And we've got a number of opportunities where you can do a partial. So say someone has $500,000 in a qualified plan and they want to convert some of that into Roth so that in retirement, they have a big piece that is not subject to tax. Okay. They could do that. Let's say they wanted to convert $200,000. Maybe they would do $40,000 a year every year for 5 years and move that from IRA status into Roth IRA status. Now they'll get a tax bill for that $40,000 every year for 5 years, but that might be manageable, given what their goals are.
All right. When we're looking at doing conversions, is there an advantage or a disadvantage with regard to when we exercise those, the timing of those conversions?
It's really when you can afford to. It doesn't work for everybody.
So maybe when your tax rate is lower.
When your tax rate is lower, yes, and you would maybe decide to convert the amount that won't throw your taxes into like a higher bracket, so there's some thinking into going on, figuring out how you do it. Even if your tax bracket isn't so much lower, we're actually at a historically low tax level. Mm-hmm. So, the question is, do you think taxes are going to be lower when you retire, or perhaps are they going to be higher?
Absolutely.
And so it makes sense. And a lot of people are of the mind to take the hit today. They'd rather pay the tax today and just know that they're going to have a tax-free portion of the retirement income later.
So what are the steps? What would a consumer have to do to take advantage of the Roth?
Right. Well, get some help to determine that it's appropriate for them, that it's not going to be throw them into an egregious tax situation where it just really doesn't make sense.
Sure.
But then if they do that, how much do they want to do? And let's find the right vehicle to do it. There are solutions out there where you could buy an annuity and convert part of it, even in the same annuity, every year for 5 years or 10 years. So start with, let's say, $100,000 in an IRA, and over the course of 5 or 10 years, have the same $100,000 to whatever it's grown to in the same contract, but now completely recharacterized as Roth IRA. Now, if that's the case, you've paid tax on that $100,000, a little bit every year during that whole contract. Okay. But you can start within the same contract, all IRA money and move it all to Roth. But you're going to have to fill out a form every year. You have to request and raise your hand and say, I want to do this every year. and you're going to get a 1099 for that amount that you're converting every year. But at the end, you're in the Roth, the darling, of the industry.
So are there any other benefits, advantages to the consumer, things that are not commonly known and or discussed that the folks watching this video ought to know about?
I think the biggest one is that Roths, first of all, that you don't pay tax on them when you come out. Secondly, that you never have required distributions. Like with IRAs, when you reach 72 now, you are required to take money out every year. So the fact that with the Roth, you're not required to take money out. Mm-hmm. And when you do take it out, you don't pay taxes. That's like a double whammy. I mean, it really makes it an outstanding component of anybody's retirement plan.
Yeah, excellent. I assume that if an advisor is watching this video, if an agent is interested in getting more information on how to take advantage of some of the things we've discussed today, that you might have some material you can send their way?
Absolutely. We've got some white papers, and even some of the carriers that we work with that sponsor this or support this plan, so we can help you with information that you can share with your clients on it, white papers to help you get up to speed on it, the forms that you need to do the conversion every year, the IRS tax forms. Yeah. So we've got all the resources that you would need to help you affect the Roth conversion with whatever solution you choose to go with.
Excellent. Very good. Well, so if you're an advisor, if you're an agent out there and you'd like to expand your knowledge and certainly become more proficient in assisting your clients and taking advantage of some of these tax issues in retirement, I would suggest you reach out to Tim here at Gordon Marketing. He's always available, or any other member of our marketing team. But for now, unfortunately, we've run out of time. So I want to express my appreciation for you watching our video. Please do me a favor, click subscribe and the notification bell right below so that every time we come out with new content, you'll be sure to know about it. But for now, happy selling.